beautiful moment for Fiji Sevens. Another one for the Siabalo Sinatla. They just keep on coming.
Sinatla's going to score yet again. Siabalo Sinatla, there's a reason he leads the tour in try.
Here we go again with a final that's going to leave us breathless. And a try for Kitione Talinga. Sevenatha Rawaka to put Fiji into the lead. And it's a great victory for the Fiji Sevens rugby team here in Las Vegas.
Right, well, that's what's happening this weekend. And my guest tonight is Jody Hendricks, and we're talking rugby. Jody, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Right, so the Blitzboks, they're going to be without Siabelo and Kwacha this weekend in Las Vegas. Is this the time when they kind of maybe plateau a bit?
I don't think so. I think the balance of the squad is quite good. Remember also that South Africa, the 2010 World Sevens player, is coming back from his injury. Bramco Dupree is playing in his 50th tournament, and I think there's a couple of other guys, Kyle Brown and guys like, well, Kyle's injured, but there's a couple of other guys, Werner Kok, of course, up front, that will be doing the hard work. So I think the Blitzboks should be one of the favorites. They've won 3 of the previous 4 tournaments. So going into Las Vegas, maybe a gamble will pay off for them.
It's unlike them to have been so consistent. What's changed this year around for them? They clearly hit their straps after years and years of getting to a level and then not being able to progress further.
Yeah, obviously the biggest disappointment was last year at the Olympic Games when they couldn't bring back gold. They came back with a bronze medal. But I think the teams like New Zealand and Fiji, they've changed coaches, new players came in, and I think it's going to take a while for them to adapt to the World 7 Series, where South Africa had that consistency with Neil being in the job for the past few years. His squad, I'm not talking just about the run on 7, but he had a squad of about, I think, 21 players who performed consistently well throughout the year. And now I think in 2017 we probably have the best South African Sevens team of all time, even better than the one that won the World 7 Series in 2009.
I don't think anyone would argue with you, but as good as the Sevens team is, so the Springboks are not that great. What do we learn from here? Is that the fact that the Sevens guys are, SA Rugby got complete control over them, and they keep them contained, whereas the Springboks, they just can't seem to keep tabs on them.
Now, also in terms of budget, the Sevens probably have to make deal with about a quarter of what the Springbok budget is. And I think the fact that you have all your players in one base camp in Stellenbosch probably adds to Neil's favour. He can work with the players, almost all around, where the Springbok coach, Alistair Kutsia, probably gets the team the Monday and they have to play against an international team the Saturday, so the turnover time isn't that much room because they come from all over the country, all over the world. And I think there's a lot of examples that the Springboks can take from the Sevens team by centralizing your contracts, by having a squad system where you know who the next player in line is. If, for example, you lose Siabelo Sinatla or Kwacha Smith, the next guy comes in, he knows the drill, instead of when the Springboks where you call in either a youngster who's never played Test rugby, you go and get somebody in France or in England who last played Test rugby 2 years ago. So I personally think that the Springboks can learn a lot from the Sevens team.
Yeah, but it's tough in the 15-man game. Well, let's talk Super Rugby, where we've got 6 Super Rugby coaches who work at odds with the Springbok coach. It can be argued at times. But let's go into this weekend's play. And the Sharks, they're up against the Brumbies, and the Southern Kings up against the Sunwolves, and those are the away matches. What do we make of those?
Well, I think last week the Sharks only had themselves to blame against the Reds. They would have learned from those mistakes. They have to take the opportunities. I think the Brumbies, it won't be an easy game, but I think on paper the Sharks are the favourites. They should, take the 3 points when they could, like last week when they lost the game. And I also think the decision-making of Pat Lambie, not only as captain, but also at fly-off, was going to be pivotal for them. As far as the Kings are concerned in Singapore, I think this will probably be their best opportunity to get a win. The Sunwolves were destroyed by the Hurricanes last weekend, and I'm impressed by some of the players and the coaching staff at the Kings. I think as the season progresses, they'll improve, but they can start with a win tomorrow against a tamed Sunwolves team.
And then we got 2 South African teams playing 2 foreign teams at home, Lions Waratahs, Stormers Jaguares. What do we make of that? I think obviously
Yeah.
the Lions, they've got quite a tough match.
Yeah,
Their season starts in
I think
earnest.
both the Lions and the Waratahs underestimated their opponents last weekend. Both scraped a win. I think a lot of factors, the fact that the Lions will be playing at home will be counting in their favour. The Waratahs on the road, I think players that will probably stand out for the Lions was Rowan Jansen van Rensburg, who had a fantastic game for them against the Cheetahs last weekend. And then Israel Folau on outside centre for the Waratahs. You know what, I prefer him at fullback, but the coach obviously has other ideas, but he likes to attack the game line. And I think if the forwards set it up, we could see an exciting game of running rugby by the backs.
And then obviously we're going to round it off with a good old-fashioned derby. It's the Cheetahs versus the Bulls.
Yeah, the Cheetahs disappointing last week against the Lions. I think they could have taken that game, and obviously the Bulls got that hiding in the first half against the Stormers. The Bulls came back in the second half and almost got something out of the game. But I think it's going to be a tough game in Bloemfontein. The Bulls will probably want to get their tournament back on track. I think they have the most depth of all the South African teams. They've got a big squad. I think Andre Pollard was disappointing. He'll want to improve. And then obviously for Franco Smith at the Cheetahs, we all know that they're innovative, they like running rugby. They lost Joel Peterson, so a couple of guys coming in there for them as well. But it's going to start up front. The forwards will have the forward pack that dominates will probably give their team the front football, and I think that the Cheetahs more than the Bulls will play running rugby. I think the Bulls, depending on the situation, the other forwards will dominate, or they'll play a 10-man game, and if they get into the opponent's 22, they'll start running with the ball. And obviously, we spoke about you mentioned the Stormers, Jaguares. Damien, a big loss for the side from Cape Town. I think I don't think they should underestimate the Jaguares. I think if you give them an opportunity, they'll put you to the sword. But I think the captaincy of Siya Kolisi will be very important for the Cape side, and if they dominate. And also last week there were 40,000 people at Newlands. If they can get that crowd again, I think they'll be that 16th man on the field.
That's what Newlands does for a team, and that's what the Stormers need to bank on, I suppose. Just round two, but thank you for your insights, Jody Hendricks. It's always a pleasure.